guys, welcome back to my channel. In case you're new here, this is Let Us Talk with Christiana D, and on this channel we talk about faith, family, relationship, lifestyle, and lots more. And on today's episode of Let Us Talk, I want to share with us something very inspiring. Yeah, today's episode is such a funny but very deep one. Yeah, but before I share with us, I want to tell you what inspired this video that I'm about to do. So there was a time I was in church, and meanwhile today's episode is based on faith. Yeah, that's what we're going on today. So I was in the service, and the man of God that was preaching began to talk about thanking God for all his faithfulness, that we should begin to recall all the things that God has done for us one after the other. We should remember them and begin to mention them and be thanking God for it. And I realized that I found it very difficult to actually remember the things God has done. Now I know that God has done a lot of things for me, but it's so funny to think that I could not remember many of those things. Like, the things that was coming to my head were the recent ones, and it was so obnoxious. I was not happy with myself. And then I told myself that, you know what, I'm going to have to be writing down my testimonies. I'm going to start writing down the things God has done for me so that I don't forget, because I really don't want to forget. So I wrote them down here. Okay, it's upside. Sorry, it's upside. Okay, so this is Girls Rule. This book was given to me by my dear mother, and I write a lot of stuffs here. It's like my own diary rather. So I have many things that I write on or in this book, and so I'm just gonna open it up to the page where I wrote my testimonies and still counting. Now I'm going to read everything to us. Why am I saying to us? I'm going to read everything to you guys. Yeah, then I'm going to pick two and explain those two extensively. Yeah. Okay, so unforgettable testimonies, that was what I gave it the headline. Yeah, God delivered me from money ritual as a child. Another thing God really has done for me that I shouldn't even forget in my life. On my way to church on a faithful Sunday, God saved me from kidnappers. Yeah. Then another thing God did for me was that multiple cysts disappeared. Yeah. Now God also saved me from bad guys. I followed my friend to a friend's house. That friend happens to be a guy. I think that's one of the testimony I'm going to give you the juice about, because it's really interesting and funny. Okay, another thing is God broke the delay of admission. Yes, I had 1 year delay. Yeah, and I know that some people have even had more. Some people have had more, and they're like, what was 1 year in 5 years that we had? But you know, this is my own journey, and I'm grateful for it. 1 year to me was like forever, and I was scared. I hope this 1 year will not turn to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. All right, so but God broke that delay. I prayed, and you know, instruction came. I know it sounds like admission is so casual. I mean, not everybody gets admission. People are many, so you shouldn't be so spiritual about it. But man, I went spiritual about it. When I say I went spiritual, I mean I had to pray, and instruction came as to what to do. Promise from God, the word of God came to me that He's going to do it on a particular year. That was the year He did it. Although while I was waiting for admission, I was busy doing A levels, so I was not just sitting around waiting. Alright, another thing God did was my stolen phone was restored after prayer. So there was that year I was using itel 11. What was itel 11? Don't mind me. I was using an itel phone, and I didn't know when I was coming down from the cab, the phone had dropped from my laps, and I was so absent-minded, lost in the stream of consciousness, and I got to church because I remember it was church I was going to, and then I just realized that I had lost my phone, and it was a whole lot. But went to police station, they tracked it. Don't let me give it to juice. such a beautiful, interesting one. I had to go to Ife because apparently we tracked the phone to Ife and realized that the phone had gotten to Ife. And got into Ife, we realized that we saw the person that had the phone. The phone had the exact crack that was on my phone. We went to the police station together. The guy was angry because apparently he was planning for his wedding. Police people had called a number he saved with my father-in-law to say that he stole the phone, he's using a stolen phone. So he was pissed and all of that. When we got to the police station, began to talk. Okay, where did you buy your phone? Alas, he got the phone the same place I bought my phone. So I left. So that day I traveled to Ife. So I got my phone in Ife at that time. So, and he stays in Ife. So he got his own phone in Ife too, in the same ITEL store. And then we had to go there. And then we just realized that the pack that they put his phone was the pack of my own phone. They switched it. So the the IMEI code that we were tracking, that was showing to us that was being tracked, was actually it was my phone, right? But the pack that was given to him was the pack, or what am I saying? No, the pack that was given to me, yeah, was the pack of his own phone, yeah. So because I kept the pack of my phone, so when they were tracking, of course I don't know it, so they checked my IMEI from my phone pack, and we were able to track it, not knowing that that pack was the pack of his own phone. So it was a whole lot of drama. At the end of the day, we apologized. I felt so disappointed. Went all the way to Ife, paid policemen money, a lot of money for Ife and all of that. And then, well, eventually, a few days after that particular journey, then we because at the store we were able to get the exact pack that was for my own phone, because I wrote down, you know, that info you write in a book when you get a phone somewhere, yeah. So I can't believe I already gisted you that one. Okay, so another thing that God did for me was God saved me from a very terrible bus accident. This one is such a big, major testimony in my life that I can never and I'll never forget. Having said all of this, I think I already gave you the juice of one, the phone that I did not intend to. I was tempted. Okay, so let me go through and look for the one that I can gist you about that will not take so much time. Okay, let me share the last one. I was supposed to just do two, but it's so hard to just not want to talk about everything, because guys, these are major testimonies in my life. Okay, I think I want to talk about the bus accident. Now I'm gonna wrap up on that. Yeah. So I think it was 2011, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't try to get the date before starting the video, but I think it was around 2011, right? I was with like a family, someone I can call family. Yeah, I was staying with her at the time, and then she had two children, and the second born, who happens to be a boy, was just about maybe 3 or 2 months old or thereabouts. Yeah, so and of course the first girl was maybe 4 or 5 or thereabouts. And then she had a function back home, like her hometown, and it was obligatory that she was in attendance. So we had to travel with public transport, of course, bus. I think it was Elisha we were going, so I can't really remember the place. I guess it was Elisha. And it was myself, her 2 children, and 2 of our family members. We were at the back of the bus, and we took off. And as we were going, of course, we prayed. Now that our family member led the prayers, we prayed. There was one man there. I remember when we wanted to start the prayers, he brought out his radio and increased it to the loudest volume. I began to take granite, and it was almost obstructing us from saying amen and even hearing the person that was praying. But we kept on. We were done with all of that, and then the journey began. And as we were going, we just started hearing a funny sound from beneath the bus. Like, was, you know, that when a metal is just it's just picture a metal being, you know, screeching on the floor. It's screeching the word now, like, yeah, you understand, when a metal is being dragged on the floor, you know the kind of floor I mean, a tarred road. Yeah. So because there was bush here, so we were on that narrow tarred road, and so we just kept on hearing that from underneath the bus something was, you know, dragging like a metal as the bus was moving. And I remember people complaining to the driver. They told him that, sir, come down, check this thing, what's that, blah blah blah. That's not good enough. It's not so much of a good sign and all of that. And then the man came down, he checked it. I remember he packed, he went under the bus, he tried to put it in. A lot of people were saying it's the silencer of the bus. I did not know what that meant. Do I still? I really don't know. So he tried to fix it. So we began the journey again. We were not hearing anything. After a while, we kept hearing the same sound. They complained again. He came down, he did it. The third time, it happened again. So at that point, the driver just turned back and told them that it's fine, that when we get to our destination, it's going to fix it. That is not a problem at all, that they should not get worried about it. Okay. And then we continued the journey. So apparently that my aunt was by the side of the bus. I mean, by the side of the window. She was by the side of the window. I was next to her, and then she was carrying a child who wanted to take breast at that time, I think. And as soon as she was done, immediately I just told her to give me the baby to carry. Immediately I collected the baby from her. Okay, I think I was the third seat away from her. Somebody was between us, so I was the third seat away. So I was more like in the middle at the back seat of the bus. So immediately I collected the baby from her. I've only seen this in films, in movies. I've never seen it happen. That would be my that's the first accident I've ever experienced, and the last actually, apparently, except for a time that I was on a bike and the bike man was not careful and we fell. Yeah, that was like very minor, but like accident. So immediately I collected the baby and we're just gisting and all of that, and the bus just started going boop, 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 boop. You know that kind of direction, zoom, zoom, like zigzag. I was so scared. Everybody started to shout, hey, Jesus, before we knew it, the bus just stumbled. It was going, it was rolling, it was going, it was rolling, it was going, it was rolling. And all of a sudden it just hit something, dash. And so all those while were upside down, and all that was in my head was the baby. So I was so protective of the baby. I don't want him to fall off my hand. That was God, honestly. That was God. That the baby did not roll off from my hand. That must have been God. That must have been an angel really holding us together, because of course I was not putting my hand to, I was not holding anything, I was not trying to lean on anything, and the bus was moving. So I was actually like I was tossed to and fro by the bus, and all of that. But then I held on to the baby, and so when the bus stopped, then after a while, apparently my auntie, the side window, the mirror that broke, so she came. Now the bus were upside down or sided, I can't even remember. So she came down through that window and she was trying to stop buses and all of that. You know that kind of road, no people. The only thing you see there are cars traveling, buses traveling, no people or anything, because of the kind of road that it is, or the place we were at that time. It was bush. So but cars were stopping, buses were stopping. Then I just noticed that few people now came to bring the bus up for us. So the bus stood back, and then we all began to come down one after the other. Our phones, our money, everything rolled away. I think we were able to see some. And as we came down from the bus one by one, nothing happened to me. There was no scratch, there was no bruise, nothing at all to me, to the baby, to my auntie and others of our families. There were some people that had terrible injuries, especially that man that was playing radio when we were praying. It was the first person that bus took, because buses were not taking people one after the other. You know, those buses are filled, they packed people from garage, so there was barely space. But because it was urgent, right, so they kind of probably tried to create space for those people. So they will see a bus and come and carry two, another bus will carry one, like that. So that man was the first man that the bus carried, because he was covered in his own blood. And some other, I remember a particular lady, she was not fine, so they carried her. The driver apparently had no physical scratch, but he was doing like this to his chest, and we were saying, what if I had that steering? He hit his chest on the wheel that they should carry him. So I remember they had to rush him to like take him away. My people, long and short, were the last people there, because nothing happened to us, and they were like, there are more people that needed more urgency than we did. So So when we're standing by the road, so apparently when we got down from the bus, we realized that now that thing that was screeching the floor, that was just dragging on the floor, was like petrol was leaking from there. So we saw literally petrol from the bus had leaked from a far distance up until where we were, because as we got down we could see it on the third road. It was on a straight, it was on the zigzag or whatever. Yeah. So we stood by the side of the road, we were waiting for, so like literally almost everybody were carried already. So I remember a man waited with one exotic car like that. What happened? He said we had an accident, we need to get ourselves to the road on blah blah blah. And I guess we were close to where we were going. I can't remember, because I know he dropped us at a particular bus stop, and from there we got a cab to where we were going, really. So he took us in the car with AC, blah blah blah. We got to where we were going, we told the people, everybody was happy, thanking God, thank God, blah 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 blah. And in the night, and I realized that was it left or right? I can't remember, either of the two. One of my hands began to pain, like the pain was serious. It was almost unbearable. And I realized that, okay, in the process of trying to save the child, I think I rested on my arm or something and all of that. So they had to use hot water, blah 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 blah. And after some hours, I think the pain left, or some days, I can't remember. But then that's like a major testimony for me. This video is 20 minutes already. I just want to bless the name of the Lord. And so don't forget what I started this video with. I was in a gathering and we were instructed to begin to count the blessings of the Lord and thank him for it. And I was blank. I could not list one thing like this. Maybe whatever I listed then was maybe what happened yesterday or something I could not list any major. And I know that my life is full of testimony. I know that God has done many groundbreaking things for me, but I could not just remember any of it, and it was not good at all. So then I decided to write down all my testimonies in this beautiful book that my mother gave to me. And you can do the same. I mean, the purpose of sharing this, beyond me wanting to share my testimony with you people, of course, you know that it's only inside church that I can share testimony, Abby. Anyways, so the purpose of me sharing my testimony with you people is not only because I just wanted to share my testimony, but because I want to encourage you that you should try to note down or write down every major thing that God does to you or God has done in your life, because forgetting means you're an ingrate and you don't want to be that. So try to write them down. Get a book for yourself or a diary, if it is on your phone, whatever, just somewhere you can keep notes and begin to write them. If it's possible, put dates on a particular day, so that God saved me from. When I wrote all these things and I began to read through them, those memories were coming back, and I felt like I was in that particular day again, and the old emotions that happened that day came rushing down back, and I was grateful all over again. So it's a beautiful thing to always remember all the things that God has done for you, and also thank him for it as often as possible, no matter how long it has happened. So finally, I end on this note. We came in by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. Another version says by the utterance of our testimony. So always share your testimony. Yeah. So thank you for joining me on Let Us Talk with Christianity today. Till we meet again next time. Stay blessed. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always, coming back to my channel to watch, for supporting me, for liking, sharing, commenting, and please don't forget to click on your notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you'll be part of the first persons to know. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.